I asked for courage to write these words down. Figured that I would be retired and wouldn't get to write them. So many things I want to say to you. It's like a part of me is missing every vision that I have of you. So much I learned about you in a little time. The good and the bad that I treasure through your lifelines. Hate thinking about when I went to grab that telephone, only to find out that my mama's gone. Everything reminds me of you. I want more time to spend with you. I close my eyes and think of you. All that when you needed me. Didn't pick up the phone enough. Didn't come to see you enough. Thinking to myself the struggle that you endured on the run. Sometimes looking down the barrel of a gun. Doing drugs, doing time, doing whatever comes to mind. But you put in work to stay on the other side of the dirt. I admire how you got yourself together and you had that talk with God like Stevie Wonder did. Made peace with your son. Seeing is believing, so you showed and proved. That's why I hold fast to all the memories of you. The crazy, the serious, the unexpected, the beautiful. From Chi-Town to D-Town to H-Town and back. Always sharing what you had. You took me to church. I look back on it and I'm glad. Never did I live with you, but staying in your house, waking up to Marvin Sapp, singing never would have made it while you standing in the kitchen, making breakfast for your son and your husband who adored you, sympathetic of how we felt. And remembering your rants, your opinions, and all those things that you said to the people you loved. And regardless of whatever happened, I never stopped loving you, mama. Every time that you spoke, I listened. Now I get to treasure all those moments that I got to see you be a mom to me. Seeing you smile, knowing you're happy was enough for me. See, I was proud of you, even if sometimes we agreed to disagree.
She said, girl, I'm sitting here watching nursing stuff. What nursing stuff? I asked, all confused. When I watch that kind of stuff, girl, you give me the blues.
Cold breath. Cold breath.
It's a new show that I've never seen. You gotta see the vibe that these girls have on screen. Who is they? What, where, and who? Nurse Knows, a new show streaming on YouTube. Every Thursday night from 7 to 8. Get your snacks and your wine, girl, and don't be late. Nurse Knows is the brand new vibe. Every Thursday night, same place, same time. Nurse Knows is the brand new vibe. Every Thursday night, same place, same time.
Welcome, Noties. You're now tuned in with PBG, and we have a special edition tonight, Mr. Chris. This show is going to be lit. We're going to be talking about men's health tonight.
Hey, y'all. I'm Pam.
I'm Veronica. And I'm Gabby. And we are here to get you notarized. Chris, would you like to introduce yourself to our viewers tonight?
Yes, my name is Chris Kennedy. I've been a nurse for 10 years. I've actually had the opportunity to start my nursing journey with two of these ladies here, Veronica and Pam. We went to nursing school together. I've worked in with some pediatrics, skilled nursing, hospice, did some hospital work, just a little bit of everything. And nursing is not something I do just for a living, but it's a calling. One of the very few jobs that I would do if I wasn't get paid for it, but unfortunately, the way the world is now, we have to have a currency in order to make a living. So proud of what I've done. It's one of the best decisions I've ever made to become a nurse. And just looking forward to saving lives, saving more, and just passing on the blessings.
Amen.
Yes. All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break so you guys can get your snacks and your wine if you don't already have them, and we'll see you back in a few minutes.
You are now tuned in with PBG of Nurse Notes.
Hi, I'm Pam.
I'm Veronica. And I'm Gabby. And we are here to get you notarized.
Catch our all-new podcast
Every Thursday night from 7 to 8 p.m.
on YouTube, Official Nurse Notes, and Villacoola Radio.
You can also watch us on our website at www.officialnursenotes.com.
Please go like, follow, and share on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
See you there, Noties!
All right, welcome back, Noties. Thank you so much for tuning in to a very special edition of Nurse Notes. This is our men's edition. This show is dedicated to our men and men's health. So what we did a survey amongst about 7 or 8 men. We kept it really small, and we asked them some very important questions about their health. And I'll just tell you what those questions were. Number 1, do you have a primary care doctor? Number 2, do you have any chronic illnesses, high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, high cholesterol? We asked them to define good health in their own words. We asked them what their major concerns were about their own personal health. We asked them the most important question they would like for Nurse Notes to answer. And then we asked them if they had any other specific health-related questions in general or any topics they wanted us to discuss. And so that's how we came with tonight's show. So we'll go ahead and just jump into our first topic, because from those surveys, heart health is of great importance to men, and especially black men. The statistics are overwhelming for black men dying from heart disease. And so that's what our first topic is, heart health.
Well, I'll say, according to the American Heart Association, they state 1 in 3 adult men have some form of cardiovascular disease. Specifically, African American men account for 100,000 or more cardiovascular disease deaths, more than Caucasian men.
Wow.
That's a huge number.
Yeah.
Of course, at the top of the list is increased blood pressure,
Right.
which can also lead to stroke, and it targets more than 3 million men per year.
And that's just why it's so important to go to the doctor, because a lot of people have undiagnosed conditions.
Right.
And when you have heart disease or you have diabetes, you're putting stress on those blood vessels, and they're all through your body. So if they can't pump, they're not functioning properly, you're gonna have problems.
Especially with the heart, mainly with the heart.
Mainly with the heart.
And so for men, it's usually like this taboo subject with men, and it's all these generalizations that are made about men. Some of it is fact, some of it may be opinion, but overall we know that men really don't go to the doctor as much as they should, until they find out they have a chronic disease.
And at that point, that's when it's too late. A lot of times as guys, and I know I'm a brother, and we get caught up with ego. I'm gonna be okay. It's just a little chest pain. I'm gonna be all right. The doctor doesn't know what he's talking about. And the heart is very serious. That's why they call high blood pressure, the silent killer.
That's
a lot of times when it goes undiagnosed for many years. And by the time we finally figure it out, it's too late. And it's simple as it takes 1 minute out of your day to check your blood pressure. And we don't have to look far. Even one of the most recognized men, John Singleton, he passed away of heart issues. Didn't even know he had it. Didn't see it coming. So if he has someone to just teach him or give him an education earlier, he can prevent that, and he can still be here with us. So it doesn't make you less of a man or less of a brother if you go to the doctor to get checked on. If you don't do it for yourself, do it for the ones you love.
Amen. And the thing about it being silent, like Chris said, is the symptoms are there. It's just most people, including women, but we are talking about men. Men do have a tendency to ignore the headache. The daily headache. That's a hangover. Oh man, I had too many shots last night. Oh man, I just need a cigarette. I just need to go smoke. I need to go hit my, my little,
other medicine.
Yeah, I need to do that, or is this or is that, and they ignore their vision being blurry. Oh, I'm just tired. I worked too hard of a shift. I need to lay down. And all of those signs are clear that something is going on with the blood pressure, and it's just going undiagnosed.
Right. And also with high blood pressure, you can actually wear out the ventricles, or the, I guess we can call them chambers of the heart.
Yeah.
Especially left heart failure. That's something that's very prominent. Especially when you have blood pressure for so long, and you're pumping and pumping, that muscle wears out. It's just like any muscle in the body. And so then we're looking at pacemakers, we're looking at all kind of things or interventions to try to correct that problem.
And keep you here.
Right, and the thing is, like she was saying, with that pumping and pumping, with that high pressure, the body is filled with capsules. You have kidneys, both kidney are capsules. So eventually, just like any other capsule, you keep banging and banging and banging on that thing, it's going to start deteriorating. It's going to start deteriorating. The capsule start deteriorating, then it doesn't function the way it's supposed to.
Right.
And that's when you have secondary issues like kidney problems and things like that.
Yes.
And so many people, especially men, they go in because now it's gotten to a point, maybe they had a heart attack, maybe it was chest pain, it was a stroke, or they passed out at work. By the time they get there, they're already in renal failure, which is failure of the kidneys. And so some things are not reversible. You know, one thing about high blood pressure, it is, but you got to catch it. You got to catch it early. You have to know the signs and symptoms, which we just talked about: some dizziness, some headaches, feeling faint, getting up in the morning and feeling like when you stand up you might pass out. That's a form of hypertension, but it's orthostatic. That means that when you go from a sitting or lying down to a standing position, your blood pressure will drop. And that's because your blood pressure, your heart worked all night long, and it was pumping. It's supposed to be at rest, but it was trying to keep you alive all night because your pressure is so high, like he talked about in those capsules. Once you keep doing it, it's only gonna take so much, and it's gonna burn out on you.
And let's talk about that. I mean, y'all know water pump on a car. You're gonna have to replace it.
Yeah.
So once you start to destroy that heart muscle, that tissue, once you get that damage, it's done. And so the only way to restore it is really to get a heart transplant. So it's very important to find these things early and to get them treated so that you don't have those issues, because we ain't gonna even talk about the cost of a transplant and the complications of trying to get that,
and trying to heal from the procedure.
And as men, I will speak to the men, one-on-one. It doesn't make you weak to go to the doctor. If you go get checked out, it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you less of a man. It doesn't make you, not tough enough. To me, getting checked out and being able to add years on my life, that's, to me, that's gangster. It doesn't make you weak, and it's okay to do it, brother. Don't wait till it's too late, because a lot of the times, we have family members that leave us way sooner than they're supposed to, for the simple fact where they just didn't take care of themselves. There are certain things that could be avoided, and it doesn't make you weak just to do it.
Right.
Put your pride to the side, because the thing about a doctor's appointment, if you go, it's once a year. If you have a chronic condition, they may want to see you every 3 to 6 months. But y'all, what is one day out of your life that could add 10 years to your life by going and getting a baseline? You need to know what's going on with you.
Right.
Because one thing that the body, I tell y'all all the time, the body is super smart. We don't give our bodies enough credit. And you keep walking around with high blood pressure, your body is going to adjust to functioning with a high blood pressure. The symptoms may fade away. So you still are going to walk around with a chronic illness undiagnosed. You're putting yourself at risk of heart attack, stroke, TIAs, which is a transient ischemic attack, which is a mini stroke. So most people are like, a mini stroke? Yeah, you can have a partial stroke in your brain where the blood flow is cut off. And you could have, Bell's palsy. You could have lasting effects from a stroke that you never get back. You could be paralyzed on one side for the rest of your life because you could not let down your pride and your ego and just go get a checkup. And don't let no insurance be the reason that you don't go to the doctor either. Y'all, it's resources available out there, especially we don't talk about it a lot, but it's a lot of dads out there, and they are single parents too. Well, guess what? If you have your kids, you can get some health care as being a man that has custody of your kids. The state will help you. You know what I'm saying? It's resources out there. If you can't get Medicaid or you can't get a state benefit, there are doctors who will see you on a payment plan, $60. Y'all spend that on bottles in the club.
Yes.
Come on.
They like $300-$400.
But that's what I'm saying.
This
is an investment into your life, especially if you have children, you have family, people that depend on you. And men, it's okay to say no at these jobs. We tell women that, but y'all need to learn how to say no.
Yes.
Tell people no, I'm not working another extra shift. I need to rest.
Right.
I'm already working 2 and 3 jobs, and I'm trying to take care of my family. No, bro, I can't. Yeah. The answer is no. Learn how to reserve your peace of mind and regroup, refocus. Yeah, it's okay for men to do that and have some me time too. Y'all are important, just as important as us.
Right.
So that's been our topic.
Yeah, and there's some plans as cheap as $10 on healthcare.gov.
Yes.
So there's all kind of options, but research. Yeah. And we're gonna cut to commercial and pay these bills so that we can get some insurance ourselves.
So when we come back, I think we should come back with.
Welcome, Noties. You are now tuned in with PBG of Nurse Notes.
Hi, I'm Pam.
I'm Veronica.
And I'm Gabby. And we are here to get you notarized. Tune in to our brand new podcast, Official Nurse Notes, on Thursdays from 7 to 8.
Where we'll share our personal journeys as nurses in healthcare
to help bring access and support to the communities around us.
Make sure you tune in because this show is going to be lit. See you there, Noties. You are now tuned in with PBG of Nurse Notes.
Hi, I'm Pam.
I'm Veronica.
And I'm Gabby. And we are here to get you notarized.
Catch our all-new podcast
every Thursday night from 7 to 8 p.m.
on YouTube, Official Nurse Notes, and Villacula Radio.
You can also watch us on our website at www.officialnursenotes.com.
Please go like, follow, and share on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
See you there, Noties.
All right, welcome back, Noties. Thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's special edition of Nurse Notes, our men's edition, where we are talking about health care for our men. So we're going to go ahead and go into our first segment of the evening, Back to the Basics.
Back to the what? Back to the basics.
Oh, and we're back, and that segment, Back to the Basics, is going to be sponsored by Visionary CPR. Contact Erica Hall. She is American Heart Association trained instructor. Her number is 469-657-4200. Her website is www.cpr-vhcs.com. If you need a CPR certification or renewal, you want to learn how to save a life, contact Erica. She's your girl.
All right, thank you so much for that sponsor, Erica. We appreciate you. So back to the basics. We're going to talk about the effects of smoking on the heart. What we did was a demonstration for you guys, just to kind of show you what happens every time you light up a cigarette. Right. So the experiment required the 2-liter bottle, which the bottle has technically smoked the cigarette.
Mm-hmm. So let me explain. So basically, the bottle actually would be the cavity of the lungs, or the lung cavity. Of course, this is your mouth, smoking a cigarette. So what we did, we lit the cigarette. Inside there is actually a cotton ball that represents the tissues of the lung. What we did was fill the bottle, poke a hole in it, lit the cigarette. As the water escapes, it kind of represents inhalation, or when you puff the cigarette, you breathe the smoke in, okay? So when you let the water out, that's kind of exhalation, or when you blow it out. So here's our cigarette. Of course, we're not going to light it here because some of us have allergies, right? The inside has the cotton ball, and I don't know how well you can see with our lovely studio lights, but there is a lot of tar, which is the brown on the cotton ball. That is the remnants.
Nasty.
A lot of people don't realize that cigarettes have over 100 chemicals. It's probably over 300 chemicals. One of them being formaldehyde. That's like the one that everybody loves to say. But it actually stays in the tissues of the lungs. I know a lot of people that have a morning cough. The cough has expectorant or mucus, sputum. It is brown, it is black. That is tar, that is from smoking, okay? I wouldn't.
And it didn't even smoke the whole cigarette.
It was
This
literally.
y'all, is that a
I think
long?
it was two. It's a long.
That's a long.
First of all, it was 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes. This is already on the tissue of your lung.
So imagine about 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
10 years.
And that stuff that you're coughing up, that is your body being
Rejecting
smart.
it.
Don't you love the body?
Yes.
The body is saying, ugh,
I don't
this
want
is
that.
nasty. I don't want that, and I can't help you breathe
Yes.
if my tissue is full of
Exactly.
that.
Crud.
And it will lead you to COPD.
Emphysema.
Exactly, emphysema. You will
And
have
that's chronic
bronchitis.
obstructive pulmonary disease. That is something terrible.
Right, and it's
So
an
you
umbrella
have-
term.
Like breathing through a
Basically,
straw.
the sacs of the actual lung tissues that help you absorb oxygen can no longer absorb oxygen. So that's why you find a lot of people with COPD, especially, I mean, we think that happens at 40 and 50. It actually happens at 30. It depends on how much you smoke and what you're smoking, okay? You can end up on oxygen, and you can end up needing a lung transplant.
And it's sad, we have kids start smoking early now.
Yes,
They don't wait
with the
till 18.
vapes.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
vape can do the same thing.
Now that vape is collapsing lungs. Like we had a
Yes.
lot of kids coming in with, getting chest tubes because of spontaneous pneumothorax.
Yes.
Meaning, they lungs filled up with some fluid, some blood, some air.
Some
It's
foreign
collapsing
substance.
the lungs, and it's very traumatic.
And you have to get a tube in your chest to get that out. You don't want that.
And you're awake.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you don't get to go to sleep.
Yeah, you're not asleep.
They cutting you
Doesn't
wide
feel
awake.
In
good
the
at all.
ER.
Yeah.
No, it is very painful.
And I think they think because it's flavored, it's strawberry, banana, cheesecake, and
The gummy
coconut
bear.
and pineapple on the
The
side.
gummy bear.
They
That is
think
horrible.
that makes it okay, and it's strictly
like gummy bear.
nicotine. It's better because it doesn't have the tar and the carcinogens
has
from the
different
cigarette.
chemicals.
But you gotta think, if let's just say you wear body lotion. All of those chemicals that they use to produce that scent, most of that is not natural. Most of that is something that is cooked up in a lab. It's synthetic. It's fake.
Yeah, it's in a
So
bottle with chemical.
you're gonna put that inside your lungs. It's poison. It's just as much poison as the cigarette. So that has been our back to the basics segment, you guys.
I can't.
Oh, we got some comments.
Hey, y'all. Hey, no teas.
No teas.
All right, Janisha.
Oh, by the way,
Hey, cuz.
this beat was done by Tamika Jordan. If you need your face done, find her on Facebook.
Official makeup artist.
Official
of
makeup
Nurse
artist.
Nurse.
This is
Nurse
courtesy
knows.
of Wilma, Marvin, and Tamika. Y'all see it? Okay.
This is Brittany and Talisa back.
This is how it is working in nurse field. A lot of women. So if
You
going
know
to
you
nurse,
like it.
get used to it, bro. Get used to this. Is all you hear on the floor.
We don't look like this at work.
Amen. Amen. All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and jump into our topic 2. Smoking. Keep it simple. Smoking.
Oh my gosh.
Man. So we'll start out with our fun statistics that so many people hate. Okay? It says men who smoke we already told you this, they are at risk for heart disease, cancer, lower respiratory diseases, stroke, and diabetes. The first, second, fourth, fifth, and sixth leading causes of death among men in the United States in 2015. That was just 6 years ago. So can you imagine the number of men who were smoking? Now they're smoking even more since the pandemic, because they were shut in with these folks that they was with, and they realized they didn't like those people till they had to be shut in with them, and they had to throw the Newport.
They was going through a car in a day.
Dropping their families off at the ER talking about they getting on their nerves.
Right. And smoking is the cause of nearly every form of lung cancer, y'all. That is scary. That is scary.
And
nearly
it come from
everyone.
Working in the plant.
Yes.
It came from smoking, honey.
And I mean, man,
You
it's
know, Oklahoma passed a law that you can't smoke in a car with your kids anymore.
it's in Texas too.
It's in Texas.
I didn't know y'all.
If y'all did not
It's
know,
in Texas too.
It's
So
in
if
Texas,
your
too.
I'm about to
child,
call on some of y'all people.
if you have a child
with me.
in the car
Don't play.
with you under the age of 18, and you are smoking, you can be fined. You will get a
Yeah,
ticket,
you can.
and they can arrest you if you keep doing it.
So just know.
So yeah,
Because secondhand smoke, there's people who get lung cancer and never smoked a day in their
Never
life.
and they get it from
secondhand
secondhand
smoke.
smoke.
Yeah.
yeah. And it's
Which
the
is not
same
fair.
thing with cardiovascular disease. They develop heart issues. They develop breathing problems. All these things just from secondhand smoke.
And y'all, it's that damage to those tissues, to those blood vessels. Like we need, like talking about like heart disease, diabetes, the smoking, all of that constricts those blood vessels, puts pressure on them, puts stress on them. And it can lead to, erectile dysfunction, other things too. So everything we telling you, like if you having problems in any area, you need to check it. Like, don't think, oh, I'm getting older, this is natural. No,
It's not.
And not just with cigarette smoke. We got men that works in factories that have smoke fumes, all kind of carcinogens like that. Wear your PPE, brother. Wear your PPE
Put that mask on.
because that smoke is just as dangerous to your body as hitting a cigarette as well.
That's right.
I take it for myself. Before I was a nurse, I worked in a steel mill. A lot of fumes, smoke, steel dust everywhere, and I hated wearing the PPE. I hate it. But if you don't want to wear it for yourself, at least wear it for your loved ones, because it can still be harmful to you. That's secondhand smoke there. We have guys that work in all kind of factories. Always wear your PPE because that smoke there and those fumes can also affect your health as well, not just with cigarettes.
Yeah, that's very good to know, because there's a lot of men that work in, different factories, different fields, especially oil field. I think about people that, cut some kind of lumber. Those little fibers also get into your lung tissues as well and can cause things. Asbestos, that's where that comes from. Different chemicals entering the body that are seen as a foreign object or substance, and the body has to react to it.
Right. And then thing like Gabby said, when it comes to smoking and those blood vessels being restricted, of course now you're gonna have increased blood pressure, and you're gonna have blood restriction where it counts as a man directly to the penis. Let's talk frank about it. Okay, erectile dysfunction, that's what that is, when there's not enough blood flowing to the penis. So if you're going to smoke, just know that at some point he might go down on you.
Yeah.
Like Frazier,
Not the good way.
Women, remind your men, put that cigarette down.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what is it, Viagra? That's exactly what it treats. It actually opens up those vessels because they are constricted. So when you think that, it's just, helping me, gain girth and all that, no, it's actually releasing blood to that area, and that's why you can actually have what is called an erection.
And why take the extra poison that's in these medicines when
it's
you
poison.
can just get off the cigarette?
That's why you can die from it. You can have a heart attack on Viagra.
Yeah, because if it interacts with your blood pressure medicine, see, that's the thing. A lot of
let's talk
people is
about
popping
that
that
one.
on the side, on the street.
Yeah.
Go to the doctor, talk to your doctor, tell them everything. If you need the nurse to clear the room and you just want to talk to that man, or your doctor, if she's a woman,
whoever you feel comfortable with,
talk to them.
Exactly.
Because it's important to have these conversations. You take that Viagra and you on the blood pressure medicine,
Yeah.
And the
That's
thing
a bad
about blood
combo.
pressure, it's like a double-edged sword for you because you're smoking and now you have high blood pressure, you have erectile dysfunction. So they're going to treat it with these two medications. Well, guess what high blood pressure medicine does? It causes erectile dysfunction.
Yes.
So now you're going to keep smoking, but you're going to take the high blood pressure medicine because you want to keep smoking. So now you got two things causing a problem with your manhood, and you're trying to figure out what's going on. It can cause hair loss too, y'all, in men. So at some point, you might want to reconsider and find another, because as you age, you're already going to have a restricted blood flow, so it's
Hormonal
just
changes.
yes, hormonal changes. So
Increase in testosterone.
exactly,
Yeah.
And don't just start popping that stuff either.
Yeah.
But then some of it is like psychological. I can't stop smoking. I can't. But talk to your doctor. There are prescriptions that you can get. There are patches. They have gum, nicotine,
Yes.
all kind of things that you can get
Spray now, I
out
think.
there that can keep you from craving that nicotine.
And sometimes it's like mental. Like a lot of people, they have anxiety. They have, a lot of men, you done been through some stuff. You might have post-traumatic stress disorder over something that you've been through in your life. So also make sure your mental health is good, because that's going to be important as
Very
well. You might be smoking and leaning on them cigarettes because of stress.
smoking and
anxiety.
coping. And we talked about that. Y'all need to go watch that show, by the way.
Yes.
We talked about negative coping, and smoking is on that list. That is a way that people, not just men, everybody finds a way to deal with stress that is not necessarily the best or the healthiest way.
It might be overeating.
Yeah. It's a whole lot of negative coping, overworking, and then overworking causes you to smoke more. Trying to stay busy to avoid that grief that you haven't had a chance to deal with, or the loss of your job, or whatever could be plaguing your mind. You don't realize that the smoking is more habitual than it is an addiction chemically.
Right.
It's associated with something that you're doing. A lot of people, they smoke by habit. When I get done eating, I have to smoke. When I go to the bathroom, I need to smoke. When I do this, I need to smoke.
When I drive,
I need to smoke to bring down.
And at that point, it's controlling you.
It is.
You
You will
have to
lose a lot of
control
time, and a lot of time with family members, friends at different functions, because you're trying to have a cigarette. I just want to hit on some things real quick. Something I didn't know, that hearing loss can be caused by smoking.
Yes.
I found that out, and I was just like, wow, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because when you smoke, the oxygen in your ear is actually depleted. You need oxygen in your ear. Well, I always thought, the vibration, the vestibule, blah, 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 blah. That really struck me, because I've never heard that. I swear in school. I don't remember that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and people don't realize that you have bones in your ear. So you need that oxygen. And it looks like we have some questions we want to try to hit
Look at
on.
my cousin all the way from Georgia.
Is vaping worse than smoking? Honestly, Terrence, hey brother.
Hey.
That's my baby.
That's our dude.
That's my big brother, y'all. But honestly, they are running neck and neck in my nursing judgment. I won't speak for the rest of the panel, but they run a neck and neck race when it comes to danger. And the reason I say that is because it's more children, more of the younger generation that are vaping, and they are dying.
Vaping is newer, so it's not a lot of statistics and stuff
To support
readily
it.
available. But the CDC is saying that it is worse.
Yeah.
I think it's worse just because you think about, okay,
What
let's
is
be
it?
honest, tobacco,
what is
tobacco leaf, you can touch it, you know what it is. Vape, that's a whole, there ain't nothing but chemicals, liquids put together,
Who's
some liquid
making it?
nicotine.
Trying to make
You
it
don't know
taste
what's in
good,
it.
trying to make it smell
Right.
good.
Gummy bears.
Exactly.
And that's the sad
That
thing.
gummy bears
They do
trip
the
me out.
flavors that kids like.
Yes.
And that's not by
It
accident.
was marketed towards people that
the
couldn't
young
buy
crowd.
cigarettes.
A bunch of ghosts.
Speaking of different kinds of smoking, smokeless tobacco, I know a lot of people that dip East Texas. So that can actually lead you to having gum disease. That can lead you to
Liver
having
cancer.
gingivitis, tongue cancer. First of all, your breath stink. I said it. I know.
And teeth look nasty.
My
And your
brother's
teeth
breath
look
don't
nasty.
stink in his teeth.
I don't like it. Okay, I don't like no
ugly.
spitting. I grew up. I'm gonna not say who, but I rode in a car with somebody to dip, and they spit, and then one time it fell over, got onto my backpack. Yeah, I was a kid. It's a long story. It's nasty. I said it. Also, cigars. Cigars. People like to smoke. You know, we go to a cigar bar. We don't go in a cigar bar, but it's there in the city. And so basically, just want you to realize that doesn't have a filter. Yes, cigarettes are bad. It doesn't have a filter, so you're getting straight tar, straight whatever else is in the cigar. Because a lot of people think it's different for some reason.
Because it's from Cuba, it's more exotic.
It may be.
Exotic death. Okay, so take that oxymoron to the bank. Okay, I'm just saying.
Help us, Jesus.
No, I'm just saying. But listen, just think about it. Like it says here, y'all. 20 minutes after your last cigarette, your heart rate drops, and 12 hours after quitting smoking, your carbon monoxide levels are going to change. So basically what they're saying is,
so if you're a chain smoker,
yes,
you never have a chance.
Catch up and you dead.
Yeah,
exactly.
You never have a chance.
But if you stop, you can add years to your life.
2 to 5 years after quitting smoking, your risk of stroke becomes the same as a lifetime non-smoker. I'm gonna say it again. 2 to 5 years after quitting. So you done quit.
Before
you got 2 to 5 years before your body says I'm whole again.
Yeah, that's a lot of healing time. You gotta understand, 2 to 5 years is a long time for your body to recuperate. But guess what? It can. That's the beauty of it. That's the blessing in it. That your body can heal itself.
But everything is prevented, y'all. Everything you gotta do it early rather than late. Like he said, when you get there and it's too late. Yeah. We had an appendix. A person with an appendix, like 2 weeks, appendix is ruptured. He going to work, he doing what he got to do. Guess what? Now you're in the hospital a month. Your whole abdomen infected. So things like that, catch it early. And we
have a question before we cut. Before we wrap this up, we have a question from Terrence. One of my friends, Carlos, who was at the listening party here, asked, if you smoke and you want to stop, what are the best and safest ways to accomplish this? Well, so Chris really touched on that a few minutes ago. So my recommendation, this is me talking, I'll let the other people speak. If you are someone who is already seeing a primary care doctor and you have any chronic illness already, maybe that is, from your smoking or just in general, my recommendation is talk to your PCP just in case you are taking medications that may be contraindicative of you doing nicotine gum, nicotine patch, or taking some of the medications, the oral pills. So I would first start there. I can't say that cold turkey works for everybody, but some people say that fear has driven them to just stop. They just stop and they find other ways to cope.
Yeah. And it's going to be a point where it's be mandatory. You can either catch it early, or if it's too late, it's going to come to a point to where either you can put the cigarettes down, bro, or they're going to put you down. It's no in between.
Yeah. I would say definitely, as she said, start with your PCP. Try to figure out why you're smoking. Yeah. Let's start there. Why are you smoking?
Need a referral.
Because
you may need a referral to a
you
therapist.
May be coping.
Yes.
And
negatively.
I know. So you may be having some negative coping situations. You have to think about, why did you start smoking?
Yeah.
Because if it was a stressful event, you're more than likely keeping up with that because that is how you coped and it made you feel good. Your brain and the body loves things that it shouldn't. Let's be honest. We love sweets. We shouldn't love sweets. We shouldn't eat them all the time. Same thing. So start with your PCP. Figure out why you started smoking. Then I would definitely recommend probably tapering it off.
Or something simple as depression. You might be smoking because you're depressed. Get that treated.
You have to figure out why you started
smoking. And you may
smoking.
need to be taking a low dose medication for depression.
And it may help you, seriously.
And if you're one of those people that just smoked forever, like my mom smoked forever, God rest her soul, she was like, I enjoy smoking. I look forward to my cigarette. She finally quit, but it was a day late and a dollar short. So don't be that person. Because
it does give you a high. It's nicotine. It's a chemical. And if you, the brain will,
But you can get that same high. I'll say that, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the segment because we're about to get in trouble on this topic. The same high that you get from nicotine, you can get if you go run a mile. Did y'all know that?
Adrenaline.
If you go out there and exercise and get your heart rate going, you can get the same high.
Yes, you will.
So replace it. Replace it. The body is very intelligent, y'all, and there are ways to cope with things that are going on in your life.
Right.
So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up smoking on that note and cut to commercial.
Veronica.
You are now tuned in with PBG of Nurse Notes.
Hi, I'm Pam.
I'm Veronica.
And I'm Gabby. And we are here to get you notarized.
Catch our all-new podcast
Every Thursday night from 7 to 8 p.m.
on YouTube, Official Nurse Notes, and Villa Cooler Radio.
You can also watch us on our website at www.officialnursenotes.com.
Please go like, follow, and share on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
See you there, Noties!
Men,
hey.
The show is for you. Welcome back. We hope that you're locked in and loaded and you're ready to move on to our next topic of the evening, and that is weight and hormonal levels. And like we told you before, we did do a survey with the men who are going to be on our show later, and this obviously was one of the most popular topics that needed to be discussed. Weight and hormonal levels.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to start us off, Chris?
Oh yeah. As Jay was saying earlier, when we're smoking, us guys, we think it's cool. We call a girl up, we go smoke a cigarette, chill, watch a movie, whatever, cool. But you could be actually, hurting yourself instead, as far as the long term with her. Because when you smoke, you constricting everything in your body. Because what your body does is all those blood vessels constrict, get smaller to lessen the absorption of those toxins. So over a long period of time, the way to open those things up is with steroids, prednisone, albuterol, the steroids of that nature. And one of the main side effects of steroids is weight gain. Yes. You're going to gain weight, bro.
Yeah.
So the whole time while you sitting there smoking with, to try to look cool for the chick or whatever, not only are you putting your own self in danger as far as with erectile dysfunction, don't know a woman is gonna want a big dude either, all the time. So think about things like that. You will gain weight. You will gain weight with those steroids because it's gonna come to a point to where they're gonna be a necessity for life.
Yes.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. Now you got a four-edged sword because you got high blood pressure that's taking them down. You're smoking, that's taking them down. You're on high blood pressure medicine taking them down. Now you're on steroids. He gone. He out of there.
Hey,
Viagra can't even bring that back.
And when he get older, if his blood pressure is always high, guess what? Now he's at risk for dementia. We forgot that part.
Yeah.
So dementia can be caused by high blood pressure over time because, again, the pressure in the vessels, it can't get oxygen. They're doing a big study on it. But that's just another thing. So now we gotta.
That's memory loss.
That's memory loss. Baby, I've
Yeah.
dealt with it. So.
But Chris was right, and it's right on topic for the weight. If you continue to smoke and you end up on the steroids, you're gonna gain weight taking those medicines later in life if you make it that long, because cancer doesn't have an age requirement like that. It's not 21 and up like it is at the club.
And it doesn't discriminate either.
It doesn't discriminate.
It's not a
So
discriminator.
you could have been smoking since you were 10 and you'd have made it a long time. But that don't mean that the cancer won't come knocking at your door. You are risking your life.
Yeah.
And it's not worth it. But as far as weight, when it comes to men, I think the concern was more of aging. Aging and
I believe so.
gaining more weight as they age. And so really, honestly, men have the highest metabolism.
So jealous.
The highest. Y'all can lose a man
30
and a
pounds
woman.
in a month.
Exactly. A man and a woman can go on the exact same diet, do the exact same things, and in that first week, a man can drop 10 to 15 pounds when a woman has lost 2. Number one, you have the testosterone in your corner. So that's giving you an extra edge. Number 2, your metabolism is naturally faster as a man. It is a natural, God-given thing to you. Take advantage of it. Don't let your age make you feel like, oh, because I'm 40, I'm gonna get the big belly, or I'm gonna get the bad body, the dad body, or any of those things. No, just take control of your eating habits and what you're putting into your body. Take control of your health.
And also your drinking habits, because that's what I noticed, again, I'm going to say East Texas. I know it's a lot of people. We tend to, be outside, and instead of water, I see beer.
Yeah.
I see liquor, and that will actually make you gain weight. And the older we get, again, the metabolism slows down. Right. So guess what? When that slows down, that means we need to look at our diet, see what we put in our mouths, and we need to change it.
Yeah.
So just throwing that out there.
You have to start paying attention to the calories. Like, as you age, like you said, when the metabolism slows down, the hormones slow down, everything gets slower. We're getting older, so we go back to the baby stage. I mean, so you do have to watch what you're putting in your mouth.
Because also, like, you're not doing the same amount of activity as you did when you were 16, playing football, playing basketball. You're not doing the same thing. You're going to the job, or even if you're an entrepreneur, you're not moving around in training camp and going to workouts every day. So think about that. You can't eat the same amount of calories.
And that's true. And even if you go to work, you still supposed to work out.
Yeah.
A lot of people like, well, my job is my workout. Well,
I stand up 12 hours a day, or I move around.
The nurses on the floor do walk 4 miles, but still.
I do heavy lifting for a living. That is not the same as putting your body in a position to ramp up your heart rate, because that's the goal of exercise, to ramp up your heart rate and work out the muscles of your heart. It's just an extra that you lose weight and tone up muscle.
Right.
But calories, Gabby talked about calories, but alcohol, that's empty calories.
Empty
Vodka, I know a lot of y'all men love the ones that drink white. They love vodka. Vodka is empty calories.
Basically, those calories has no nutritional values. When they say metabolism, it's the way that your body breaks things down so your body can use it. So as we get older, it starts to slow down. And just like anything that's working, okay, you got more coming in, more food, more calories coming in and in. And when your body can't break those things down and metabolize them, you just say, okay, I'm gonna store it. I'm gonna store it. And that's when you start storing fat, and things like that. You notice the weight start creeping up. But lifestyle changes, like the way people work, like you said, their jobs will allow them not to have time to work out. But you can do things like, instead of taking the elevator, take the stairs. Stand more often. Just any little thing. On your lunch break, find 5 minutes, go walk somewhere. There's little things you can do that it doesn't seem like much, but it goes a long way.
Speaking of that, what I realized as an auntie, I forgot how much stress it was for my body to actually chase after some kids. Because, I'm used to I ain't got no kids, so I'm used to going to work. If I want to go work out, I go work out. Ain't gonna lie, it's once a week. I ain't gonna lie to you. But, baby, chasing them kids, that's a workout. Chase your kids. Mow the yard. It's simple things you can do.
Portion control.
Portion control for the diet.
That helps a lot.
And just remembering, y'all, you do need to start a multivitamin. Like, a lot of people don't realize that vitamin deficiencies, which is why you need a primary care physician, is one of the reasons why people gain and retain weight, because we're not getting the nutrition from the food that we eat. If you always in the drive-thru, brother, you need to learn how to turn on the oven, the air fryer, or something to learn how to cook you something healthy with some nutritional value. But also just multivitamins. I mean, checking your vitamin levels, a lot of that can cause you to retain weight as well, not just your hormones.
Yeah, the body is smart enough to know, okay, I'm not getting it from here, let me store a little bit more of this. Or when you take in that next meal, I'm gonna keep a little bit more of that. And the bad part about that is usually the fat that sticks and stays around, because that's what's burned for the energy. So you having a lack of vitamin deficiency will cause you to gain weight.
Because once you keep that storing, what that does though, it raises the insulin levels in your body. Once the insulin levels get up and that pancreas starts spitting out insulin, having to work over and over and over, eventually it's going to wear down too. And that's when you end up having the insulin resistance and you have diabetes.
Watch the previous show.
And
I just want to mention real quick, since we're talking about high blood pressure and we were talking about weight loss, or weight gain, one thing that can happen with high blood pressure, going back a little bit, you can actually develop sleep apnea. you're not going to sleep as deep or get into REM sleep as you should. And that's when you see people sleep with the mask or have to go to sleep studies. Not sleeping or getting enough sleep, just about 8 hours, 7 hours for some people, it can actually make you gain weight. I had that happen. I'm not a man, but guess what? It actually happened. I was getting about 5 to 6 days. 5 to 6 hours, and my weight just kept going up because my body is stressed. It never has time to rest. So if you're not sleeping and you're waking up gasping for air, you may want to sleep study because you may have sleep apnea.
Your body's not filtering how it needs to filter if you're not sleeping. That's when your body is doing the cleansing.
That's the cleansing phase. That's right.
So you definitely need to get your sleep. And waking up tired after you slept 8 hours, okay, then you probably ask whoever you laying next to, am I stopping to breathe? Am I... are you hitting me in my chest? Are you watching me? Are you trying to get this insurance check? Like, what's good?
Let's talk
because
about
you
that.
Shouldn't wake up tired.
Let's talk about that snoring.
REM, what Pam is talking about, y'all, is rapid eye movement. Okay, it's a phase of sleep when you are the deepest in your sleep. That's where you dream and all of those things. So you wake up tired, you can never remember what you dreamed about, probably because you never went all the way into rapid eye movement, into a deeper, more restful sleep. And what happens during that sleep is, like Gabby talked about, that's when your kidneys and liver clean up. They clean up everything, every toxic thing that you have put into your body that it needs to go out as waste. That's what your body does.
Natural detox.
So honestly, what you're putting into your body, once again, is going to affect how much sleep you need. So if you are constantly eating a bad diet, if you drink a lot of alcohol, if you're not exercising and doing things to release toxins, and then you're not sleeping as well, then you are likely going to have more and more health problems. Sleep apnea can lead to heart attack and stroke. So, and snoring and all of those things can lead to other health problems as well. So it's just a vicious cycle. What goes in needs to be filtered out, and your body does need enough time to do that.
Right. And I just want to mention the snoring one more time, because I know I just know there are men where you can hear them sleeping with the door closed. With the door closed, you can hear them outside. That is not normal. That is an obstructive sleep apnea. Yes. And what happens? The back of the tongue goes to the roof of the mouth, and it obstructs it. That's when you. I'm not even gonna make the sound. I was just about to. But just know that it's not normal.
You hear somebody say "calling the hog."
Yes.
That's what they're talking about. When you hear that pig, that nasally pig sound,
and when you gotta shake him because he's snoring so loud, we need a sleep study.
Or when they stop,
when they stop breathing.
But that's what causes AFib, though.
Yes.
Whenever you snoring like that, anytime you stop breathing or bearing down, your heart's slowing down. It slows your heart down. When you bear down like that, it slows your heart down. It throws off the rhythm that your heart beats.
And that's how you get a regular rhythm. That's right.
And you really have to get that because that also leads to cardiac problems.
Yes.
By the way.
And then cardiac leads to kidney.
That's a good point.
Keep going down the line.
Think about Elvis. Let's work out Elvis, by the way.
Yes. Vasovagal.
Yes.
So that leads directly into heart problems. So it is kind of funny when we're snoring, but you really need to look into it. Talk to your doctor about it, man, and get that fixed immediately, because that could also lead to heart problems as well.
And some of it can be ENT, y'all. Everybody, we don't want you to think
nose and throat.
That your nose and throat. We don't want you to think that everybody that snores has sleep apnea. You could have sinuses. You could have turbinates that are swollen. You could have a deviated septum, which is that bone is out of place here. So it still means that you need to be going to the doctor to have it checked out. And Chris brought up a great point about the Valsalva maneuver that happens every time you go to the bathroom. So anytime you have a bowel movement and bear down, you're already stopping your heart every single day just to use the bathroom. Okay, so and then you're overworking your heart with the smoking, the constriction of the vessels, the high blood pressure. The heart takes a hard hit.
You just put your body through so much.
Yes. Yeah. So a high fiber diet will help you have a more peaceful bowel movement, so you're not straining, and you do go on a regular basis. Because
and drinking water.
Yes. Water. 64 ounces.
H2O.
In the summertime, you need to be taking in at least 64 ounces.
If it's hard for you to go to the bathroom, you're not hydrated enough.
and you don't have enough
If your
fiber.
urine is dark yellow and it
If it
smells
looks like
like
Hennessy.
pee-pee, you're not getting enough water
We can't be peeing that
in your
Henny.
system, and it means that you are probably straining when you go to
Yes.
the bathroom.
Yeah.
And quickly, I just wanted to point out there's a condition called osteoporosis. A lot of men, or I don't hear a lot of men talking about it.
Does it help osteoporosis?
Smoking does not help osteoporosis.
At all.
That's your
And basically, it's where the bones actually turn and become brittle. You hear it mentioned to women over a certain age, vitamin D deficiency, vitamin C, but it actually pertains to men as well, because there are men that have went years with wear and tear on their joints, and that was one of our concerns on the poll.
A lot of men have broken hips when they get a certain
Yes.
age. And
Knee
then some of them are
replacements.
undiagnosed because a man will fall and go
Yes.
sit in his recliner like nothing happened to him.
Yes.
And all the while
just
he has
have
a broken
limp.
hip.
Yes.
And so
And shoulders.
Yeah,
another-
but that's
another
from that
one.
old football injury back
Yeah.
in
Yes.
19.
So basically, what y'all telling the brothers is if they keep smoking, they gonna end up being a fat hunchback with erectile.
come on with it.
Memory loss.
Tell them. With dementia, you ain't even you ain't even gonna remember how to use that thing, much less worried about if it get up or not.
Fat hunchback.
She gonna tell you it was so good and you didn't do nothing, but you didn't take your check.
That's how y'all become sugar daddies. You gotta get your life together.
Jody starts coming to the house.
And the whole house.
Cause you
Now,
smoking.
Jody,
You better get serious about it.
Dead serious, man.
Is you trying to be
y'all
a
know we
sugar
have to
daddy?
end on a crazy note.
Hey, Sweet Pay.
Oh my gosh.
We got something special for y'all coming up. Are we going to commercial or are we going into
We
the
going to-
health information
We
tip?
going to
No, we're gonna go to
commercial,
commercial.
Okay, so we gotta pay some bills. We're gonna go into commercial, but y'all stay tuned in. I'm gonna shout out to Kelly, Janisha,
Hey.
and
Tamika.
Wilma,
Makeup
Tamika,
artist in the building.
Tisha, everybody that's watching.
Thank you
go
so
like,
much.
subscribe, and share.
Amen.
Hit
And
the
we'll hit you with
Tell
the
a
commercial.
friend to tell a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Get on Facebook, do some work.
All right, we gotta move.
You are now tuned in with PBG of Nurse Notes.
Hi, I'm Pam.
I'm Veronica.
And I'm Gabby. And we are here to get you
Notarized.
notarized
Catch our all-new podcast.
Every Thursday night from 7 to 8 p.m.
on YouTube, Official Nurse Notes, and Villacoola Radio.
You can also watch us on our website at www.officialnursenotes.com.
Please go like, follow, and share on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
See you there, Noties! Welcome, Noties. You are now tuned in with PBG of Nurse Notes.
Hi, I'm Pam.
I'm Veronica.
And I'm Gabby. And we are here to get you notarized. Tune in to our brand new podcast, Official Nurse Notes, on Thursdays from 7 to 8.
Where we'll share our personal journeys as nurses in healthcare.
To help bring access and support to the communities around us.
Make sure you tune in because this show is going to be lit. See you there, Noties. Welcome, Noties. You are now tuned in with PBG of Nurse Notes.
Hi, I'm Pam.
I'm Veronica.
And I'm Gabby. And we are here to get you notarized. Tune in to our brand new podcast, Official Nurse Notes, on Thursdays from 7 to 8.
Where we'll share our personal journeys as nurses in healthcare.
To help bring access and support to the communities around us.
Make sure you tune in because this show is going to be lit. See you there, Noties.
probably in the
Am I
school.
bringing it back?
Mm-hmm.
All right, No Tease, thank you so much for coming back to the last part of our show. This is the best part of tonight's show, y'all. We actually have men in the house. We're going to talk with them, have a conversation with them about men's health, especially our very lovely, handsome, whatever you want to call them, black men, okay? So, guys.
Hey.
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 What's up?
Thank y'all for being here.
Thank y'all.
Yes.
Got the Nurse No shirts on.
Yeah.
Got some pink.
Everybody in their Nurse Notes attire.
This is letting y'all know no teas can be men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. You got any questions for us, Mr. Cam?
Yeah. The mic on? Can you hear me? Okay. Yes, ladies. I did my survey.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
On my survey, you asked the question, did we have any particular things that we wanted to ask you? So I do. I want to know how much exercise am I required to stay in a good state of health each day?
Okay. So do you mind me asking how old you are?
I turn 35 next week.
Okay. We can deal with that.
35.
So at 35, minimum 30 minutes
Okay.
a day.
A day.
Minimum of
Every
30
day.
minutes. Get moving. Yeah.
Is it just like a little jog for 30 minutes?
You need
or
some
do I have to
cardio.
go in, like,
You
the
need
weight
some
room?
cardio. You can go in the weight room too, but put you some cardio in there.
Okay.
I mean, if you
15 to
want to
15.
go the extra mile, I would give it an hour so you can do cardio. You can do some weightlifting. And if you got like a focal point on the body that you want to work on, in that hour, you have time to do it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But eating habits is very important.
Okay. So is there a certain amount of calorie intake I should remind myself to be at every day according with my exercise routine of 30 minutes a day? Or say I go an hour a day, how many calories should I be intaking to kind of carry me through?
For a man, how much do you weigh?
$175.
I would say 1,500 to 2,000, somewhere in there. I wouldn't be going over 2,000.
So 2,000 calories a day and about 30 minutes to an hour exercise.
If you're getting closer to the 2,000, you need to hit the hour. You have to hit the
I was
hour
about to say to keep
because
that weight
you're
off.
35.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying
Slower
to
metabolism.
be 60 at 40, so I'm trying to
Okay.
get head started.
Amen. Ain't
All
nothing
right.
wrong with it.
Ain't
Get
nothing
started
wrong with
right
that.
now. Get started right now.
My question is for the brothers. What about us that have women that, because of the cultural differences, the food that I like or the food that the men like isn't healthy. However, that's all of the food that his better half wants to cook. What advice would you give them? Because there are guys out there in situations.
I would say you have to come together as a couple
Compromise.
and decide, okay, are we going to be on the healthy track or are we going to be on our cultural track? Because culturally speaking, we're going to go back to the diabetes show. We can say, well, you know, diabetes is hereditary. No, it's not. The eating habits are hereditary. If diabetes comes from this kind of diet, then maybe we should make, you know, some modifications. Maybe we eat soul food, whatever cultural food you're speaking of, on Sunday, 1 day a week, 2 days a week. The rest of it, we're doing a healthy meal plan.
Exactly.
Actually did some teaching recently about that.
It's definitely, speaking from a married point of view, it is a together thing. It's actually a whole house thing. Because if it's you and your children in the house, number one, when you have small kids, they're going to do what you do, not what you say. That's what kids do. So if you are showing them a healthier way to eat and that's what you're feeding them, that's what they're going to do. I have a mixture. I have grown-ups and I have smaller kids. Now my adult children, it's on them now to do what they want. But at the same time, I have to take responsibility for what I might have shown them when I was raising them, how I cooked. You know, if I cooked something quick, hamburger helper, if I gave them ravioli, I gave them what was quick because I was doing what I had to do. Then it's some reteaching that needs to be done, and you need to do it as a family. It needs to be a goal, even if it's just the two of you or it's the whole house. Everybody needs to make some changes, because if one person in the house is doing it, everybody's doing it.
Yeah. I agree. That don't mean wrong to the side piece house that cook your food.
Stop it now.
Amen.
Stop it now.
My thing is like, what's up with you men? Like, y'all can cook too. We busy too.
You know
I'm
I
sitting
wanna
at
say,
home,
you
not
know
working. I go put in 12 hours. I mean, I'm gonna need you to come on. Come on.
Look, can we ask them a question? What y'all cooking? What
What
y'all
you
cooking?
looking like? You trying to blame it on me? No, I'm just playing.
Yes, it is. We just having a conversation.
Marcus said, rewind.
But baby, listen, you can go get a salad, and I'm not making you eat that.
I know
You
people
can.
that can cook salmon.
But that's why you do it together. That's why it's together. Y'all learn how to cook together.
Yeah, learn what you like together in a healthy way.
But, and then going back, because you never,
Work
I
out
mean,
together.
when it's a cultural difference in the relationship, whether it's, black and white, black and Hispanic, whatever it is, if it's something traditional, we know black folk gonna eat on Thanksgiving. We gonna eat,
We eat
right?
for every event.
But we also know
we
that
low-key it
in
every day.
some Hispanic households, they gonna have tortillas. I've been to my patients' houses.
With white rice,
They gonna have all the carbs in the morning for breakfast to start their day. So if you are in that type of relationship, marriage, or whatever, you do need to say, okay, moderation. You can still have those foods, but it needs to be in moderation. You don't need to eat bad every day.
No,
and
every
you don't
meal.
need to have Thanksgiving food every week.
No,
Have
every
it
meal.
at Thanksgiving. You know?
Every meal is Thanksgiving.
And some of it on a serious note, with that too as well, is growing up where you are amongst the poverty line. A lot of times where growing up, that's all we could afford is those dollar packs of bologna, wings, things
Them
like
ramen
that.
noodles.
With
And
the red
noodles,
beans.
8
so,
cents a pack.
So it become a lifestyle. Those kind of foods. Press ham is a part of black culture.
Right. But that's miseducation in the black community too, because this is the thing. In our times growing up, I grew up on hog head cheese, pressed ham, all of that stuff. I know what you mean. The peanut butter in the white can with the oil on the top. That's what you had. I grew up in the hood. I know what it's like to be poor and have less. So this is the thing about that I had to learn as an adult. That is intentional in black communities. I want you to understand, if you go into a grocery store in a black community and you go to a grocery store in a white community, there is a difference in the layout of the store.
And it is.
When you walk into Walmart in a black community, all of the sweets are at the front of the store. There is a reason for that, okay? Because they know that the people that are shopping there are on a low income. They're gonna get the fastest, easiest thing for their family so they can have more. You can get a big pack of noodles for $2.28. It's 12 noodles in it, but at the same time, you're giving yourself and your family high blood pressure when you could have spent that $2.28 on lettuce, tomato, and onion. Contrary to popular belief, you can, on a budget, still eat a better diet.
Yes, you can.
But you have to be aware of the layout of the store. That's why we tell you all the time, when you go in the store, shop the perimeter.
Outside.
If you're on the inside, it's all processed food.
People talk about a prison pipeline, but there's also a healthcare pipeline.
Yeah, it's set up that way. So you need to be culturally aware of what's going on in your neighborhood, in your
Chris was in nursing
stores.
school. What was the number one answer? What was the number one answer? If it was a cultural question, who had it? We did. You picked African American. You got the answer right.
That's why you saw it even with kids.
Diabetes,
They look all
African
over.
American. Any
That's the best way to
It's programming.
there you go. Yeah.
Let's just call it what it is. It's programming.
And it's
You need the
ghettoization.
mic.
Yeah.
It's oh, you need the mic. It's ghettoization, y'all. That's been going on since Jewish camps. Like, that's been going on for a long time. You put a group of poor people in a situation with no resources and no money, and you see how they survive.
And a lot of people that are watching our show don't know there's actually what do we call it?
food deserts.
Food deserts, and we have one here locally. And we're going to try to work with our plans in the future to kind of get rid of that.
Because we
as
have
well.
a nonprofit that we're building from the ground up. So we're going to take Nurse Notes back to our community because that's where it starts. It
gotta
starts
help
with us.
yourself.
Right.
We gotta be, because they're targeting. Okay, so we're gonna retarget. You have to stop it at the source, and it starts with self.
It does.
Re-educate yourself so you can educate others around you. Everybody's not gonna listen. They're not even gonna make the change. But if you help one person change, that's say a lot.
Yes.
Because when a person have one good experience, they only tell 2 people. But if they had a bad one, they tell 12
They
to 24.
tell everybody and post it on Facebook and everything.
Yeah.
So Kenny,
Might I add, those are some nice cups that y'all, they sparkling and
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have a lot of merchandise here with Nurse Notes.
you've been notarized. So,
Yeah.
I'm saying I had to place that up front because the cups are beautiful.
Thank
I just
you.
wanted to tell you.
Thank you, Kenny. We appreciate
thanks, Kenny.
it.
Now, what was your question?
Well, how do you keep a conscience about the unhealthy things that you do? Do you make a calendar, or do you just tell Google to hey Google, remind me not to do that?
You right, boy.
I'm saying, how do you?
No, that's a
You
good
know what my
question.
cousin said? Like he's a professional football player, and somebody asked him that at a wedding we was just at, and he said, "Do you think I like to go to the gym?" No, he said I made that a habit instead of every bad thing that I was doing. He said it's a habit, so just make it a habit. Like when you thinking about what you're gonna eat, try to just pick a healthier choice. Or when you thinking about those hennies, just take 2 instead of 22. It's just a cutback. Do everything
Buy
about
smaller bottles. Buy
Just
smaller
two.
bottles.
But habit also comes
Yeah.
from so it's how you learn, right? Because this is a learning process for all of us. We're all learning. So if you write it down, if you are a visual person, or if you're somebody that can watch things and you learn from that, plan it out, write it down, do a vision board for it. Whatever you gotta do to help it stick in your mind, because anything that you do more than twice is habit, right? First time, what they say, shame on you. Second time, shame. Okay, so if you do it twice, it becomes a habit. If 2 times out of the week you intentionally eat healthy the whole day, next month it'll be 4 days.
And
You keep doing it.
Another thing that definitely helps with making good, I guess you can say, meal choices would be to plan your meal or meal prep in advance. You pick one day, maybe you make enough food for 3 days, and that way I got food at home that's already done. And literally I just either take it to work or I put it in my microwave when I get home, or put it in the oven, however you want to reheat it.
Because we're a convenient culture. Like you gonna eat what's convenient.
If it's not
you wanna
easy,
go.
we not
If
gonna
it's
do it.
right there and it's prep, you're gonna stick it in the
That's why we
microwave.
go through the
If it's
drive-thru.
nothing there and you've had a long day, you've been shooting, you've been in the lab, you've been doing your music, you're gonna go grab some fast food because you're ready to go home and you're ready to go lay down. And if you out and maybe you out and you at the club or whatever, everything that's
Subway is
open,
not open.
think about it. What's open? Fast food. It's not. It's done by design.
It's gonna be cheap too.
And that's why
Yes.
in close to here we have so many. I mean, remember we took that
Yes.
ride from the bank.
Baby.
We took a ride and it was like 2 different worlds because I got this, this looks nice, and all of a sudden it was just nothing but
Come on,
fast food.
nothing
There
but
is
fast
no
food
grocery store.
on
In 10 miles,
our people's
in
side
10
of town.
miles, all you can do is go to
But
a
go to
restaurant.
the other side. It's Aldi.
Aldi.
It's Panera Breads and all these Whole Food stores, and you
Whole
might
Foods
even
everywhere.
see a farmer's market out on the curb.
It's close.
Yeah. You just
But we don't have those resources.
yeah.
And we have to start doing that for ourselves as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it because it's our show. I'm getting a little tired of us investing in things that actually don't do nothing for our culture. We don't actually invest into our neighborhoods. We sit up there and want somebody to do it for us. We can do it for ourselves because we have done it in the past. If you can give money to, I'm gonna say it, somebody.
Red Cross.
And when you do it for yourselves, you can enjoy your own fruits of your own labor. You know,
Yeah.
and you don't have to ask nobody to front you nothing, or you doing it for other things, or
Yeah.
then you don't have to worry about nobody counting favors and things like that.
Yeah.
You take care of all.
And as a culture, we should, because we are targeted. And well, I'm not even gonna say that part. We are targeted, and we have to call a thing a thing.
Yeah.
Literally in a 10-mile radius of low-income families. There is no grocery store.
But there is a liquor store.
There is a liquor
on
store.
every
There
corner.
is ways to buy cigarettes. You can literally walk here and it says convenience
And
store.
you can
There's
literally
nothing
do this,
convenient.
and this is the school line where your kids can't go.
With the property taxes, we not
Better
even.
start
That's
paying
enough.
attention.
Next question. Yep.
By design.
So, you know, cars, they have like scheduled maintenance.
Mhm.
So if
Yeah.
you-
Come on with
Okay.
it. Come on
So
with
many
it.
miles, this, that.
Mhm.
Okay, so approaching 40,
Mhm.
as a male.
If ain't nobody heard that, say you too.
Say you too.
Tickle
I'm
me.
sorry, y'all. The screen.
Yes.
What are some of the key things health-wise that I should be paying attention to?
Right.
Well, one.
Screenings,
Go ahead.
Yeah. If you don't already have a PCP, it's time to get one. A primary care physician. Family doctor is what some people call
General
them. If you don't already have one, it's time to start looking. And if you need any type of resources on that, you can talk to us after the show. We can help you out with that. But
And it'll be on our website. as well.
screening, like she said, it's time at 40. It's time for the colonoscopy. It's time to do that.
In the
and the
room,
and the
the
prostate
gas.
test.
It's time for the
It's real,
prostate
and we
test.
need to be serious.
And
about
listen,
it. It's taking.
Chris
our
can
men.
tell you, you don't have to do the old school prostate test anymore,
No.
where there is a man or a woman
Yes.
violating
tooting
you
it up. You got
at the rear end.
Yes.
They have blood tests for that now, and they have other ways to run that test. Yeah.
There you go.
So, but
And
those
you
are
can do that at any lab
screenings
test now.
at the age. Now, this is the thing: if you have a family history of maybe colon cancer or prostate cancer, you probably needed to have started at 35. But it's still not too late. Even if you're not
And it's never too
symptomatic,
early.
it's never too. You still want to go and get those two screenings in the blood work. The main physical that you get, you need that.
You need it.
Because you need to know your numbers. You need to know if your blood pressure is running high. You need to know your
Blood sugar level.
blood sugar. You need to know if your liver is functioning, and for black men especially, you need to know
Yes.
what your kidney function is.
Yes.
And also, I've noticed a lot too is a lot of times we think we're feeling fine and we go to our PCP and get just a routine blood work, CBC, things like that, and we find levels off. There's a lot of times where a lot of my cancer patients, they feel like they or nothing's wrong with them. You know, my health is fine. And all of a sudden, I just had a routine blood work just because it was annual, and my liver level was off. And come to find out that the patient was already in stage 3
Yes.
liver cancer.
This is real.
6 months later, that patient was on hospice.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will
And
take
a
you
lot of
quick.
black men, I was doing some research that I forgot to mention earlier, but a lot of black men are being diagnosed with a fatty liver.
Yes.
And that is from poor eating habits.
As for eating. yes.
And it's one of those over time diagnoses that if you have a fatty liver and you drink, you can end up with cirrhosis of the liver before you blink. And there's no cure for cirrhosis.
But also, not just us as brothers need to know what's okay for us and our maintenance. We need to also know the maintenance for the women as well, because like you got men like myself. I'm raising a daughter, so I have to teach her, about self mammogram checks and things like that for the women as well.
That's right.
And for the men out there, we need more men in this field.
Yes, we need more men here. Yes, men.
And brother, this is way. I mean, you use your mind more, but this is way easier work than swinging a sledgehammer somewhere.
I agree.
Or being out there or in the heat working construction, and you can save more lives. I remember getting into this, and I remember in nursing school, I went to nursing school with you two, and it wasn't easy. I mean, it wasn't easy. There was
Because they
And we all cried.
actually laugh at men. They make fun of men.
And that's
And
why
people
we
discriminate. I've
Yeah.
had patients say, I don't want no man touching that.
But I've also had patients say the opposite. Can you bring that man back in here because I feel safe
Yes.
with him helping me get up.
But as brothers doing this though, it's like women has to prove that they can't do it in nursing sometimes, and men have to prove they can.
Yeah.
But like she said, there are patients that will prefer, the male nurse. And brothers, when it comes to getting jobs, we get first dibs.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just being honest with you. We get first dibs.
Yes, y'all do.
You know, because when it comes time to turning this patient, whatever, instead of calling 2 women in there, you know, that brother can handle himself.
Right.
You know, it doesn't make you weak. I remember that one movie. It was called the guy was a nurse. And they were laughing at him. Gaylord. Meet the Fockers. I remember that. That's what they call me in nursing school. Gaylord Fockers. I remember that. So,
that was my movie.
Yeah. I just want to add that we need more representation in every field, but especially healthcare, because a lot of times we do get discriminated against. I just read a story on Facebook. Young man he had a motor vehicle accident, went to the hospital. He was in severe pain. He did not get anything but naproxen, aka Tylenol. They didn't want to do any scans. That's a whole nother show. They didn't want to do anything and was trying to discharge this man. He had a whole liver laceration. That's why he was in so much pain. So I'm just saying we need more representation so we can actually have somebody to advocate for us.
The same thing happened to my mom. I was at work and my husband was at work, and my mom called me, but I was actually in the field seeing a patient. And so she called my husband, and he was able to get to her faster. She had fallen. So my mama, at first, she really didn't want to go, but I convinced her to go to the ER. We got to the ER. They did an x-ray because my mom's leg was hurting her. But I had already pre-screened my mom at her apartment when I made it there. And I knew in my heart that she had a stroke. Nursing judgment. But I don't tell people that I'm a nurse when I go with my family members, because they don't need to know that. I need to see what you're going to do, not knowing who I am. And so they tried to send my mama home with Vicodin and a damn boot, as if she was nobody. My mom was sitting in the emergency room with her mouth twisting. She was literally having a stroke in front of my face. I had to act a stupid fool because there was no other black person in there representing us. There was all white staff. I had to get stupid ignorant and make them see about my mama. And of course, my mom had several mini strokes. Yes.
And that's why it's important to
no representation.
That's why it's important to inform yourself. That way you know when the doctor just shooting you some BS, or the nurse is shooting some BS. Because a lot of times, man, they just look at you as a source of income. You in and you out. You know, you just got this going on. It's be okay.
And if you don't have insurance, black men, I want y'all to know when y'all go into an ER, try to avoid it if you can. Please get a PCP. Because when y'all go into the ER, they're going to treat y'all like y'all are Superman. They're not going to take your pain level serious at all, because you're black and you're a man and you're supposed to be strong. You come from slavery. Your pain level, they feel like they really believe doctors, white doctors, really believe that because we are black, our tolerance for pain is double that of other ethnicities, and so they treat us accordingly.
And that is in the books. If nobody
believes
it, go to your
nursing book. If you
is
are in an emergency room and they're telling you to discharge and you feel like it's still something going on, it's okay to refuse to discharge. Speak to someone. You escalate it. You ask for the charge nurse. You ask for the administrator. Advocate for yourself. I mean, I've had to be on the phone with family members or friends because I tell them, call me. If you're there, I know how to handle you. I'm going to tell you who I am, where I'm from, what I know, and I'm going to call you out. I had a doctor, he called a transfer center in Fort Worth for a family friend who was having a stroke, and they knew that their hospital had no capabilities to help this man. So you're going to jam him up here. You're going to let him die. That's what you're going to do. My sister's friend was 32 years old. He had a heart attack. He went to the ER twice, and they discharged him twice, and he discharged home to die in his bed. So this hospital particularly, I didn't play with. I got on the phone with the doctor. I said, give the doctor the phone. I said, sir, you know you have no capabilities. You're going to jam him up, fly him to Fort Worth or Dallas, get him to the transfer center. And that's what he did. So he was like, so who am I telling that they're going to transfer? Dr. Gabby? Well, yeah, Dr. Gabby Manuel. Whatever you want to put on there, tell them that. That's who it is. Because we have to advocate and just know how to follow the chain of command. they don't have the final say.
And that's how you advocate. What you're doing right now is how you advocate for yourself, your families around you, your brothers around you. Something can happen to anybody here at the studio. At least one person in here needs to know CPR. At least one person in here needs to know signs and symptoms of a stroke. Everybody take a piece of education and let it stick with you.
And that's why we're here.
You understand? So we can help each other, especially our men.
Finances prevent you from getting the care that
Yes,
that
that's
you
right.
need.
Your health is your wealth.
Because by law, regardless of how sick you are, no hospital is authorized to turn you right back.
And if they try, you need to advocate for
these
yourself.
hospitals, they take out insurances themselves for those losses.
Yes.
It's not hurting them.
No.
So that $25,000-$30,000 hospital bill that you left them with, having the foot, it's not gonna hurt them.
Look up how much revenue they made and how many bonuses they took
there's
home.
indigent care. There's stuff that the county do. They sign contracts to take so many people that don't have insurance. Don't worry about that. Your health is your wealth. You go in that ER and you know something's going on with you, don't leave. I refuse discharge until I get the care I need.
And also,
that's fine to say.
For the people that don't want to go to the ER and be like, oh my God, I got a $500 ER bill. There is a website you can go to called drsays.com.
That's amazing.
It's called drsays.com. It's online. They're doing video chats. They're doing phone calls. It's $25. You can pay $25. It's like a copay to set up the appointment. The physician will call you. You let him know your problems, and from there he can call you some medicines in to a pharmacy near you, anywhere, no matter where you are. He can call you antibiotics, whatever you need there. And if you're having trouble paying for it, the doctor can also provide you with GoodRx, so you can get discounted prescriptions. Sure. You don't have to just sit home and suffer. There's multiple resources out there. Thank you. If you are listening right now, if no insurance, it's drsays.com.
That's an amazing resource.
Thank you so much for that.
We thank everybody for tuning in.
Don't just sit there and suffer and suck it up. No, you go take care of yourself.
You the head of our household. Lead us in the way of health, wealth, all that. Yeah. We would like to say thank you to the men that decided to come out and talk to us.
Thank you so much for your questions.
Ask your personal questions.
Yes, it's been a great show.
Gosh, that was amazing.
See you next time, No Teas.
All right, No Teas.
Bye,
it's been fun. Bye.